rainy. It's the new year. Time to split some wood and talk about it. Today I'm splitting hickory. It's wet, it rained all morning, and it's supposed to rain later on today, and I just couldn't sit still. So I'm out here trying to work off some of that peppermint chocolate cheese casserole from over the holidays. And I'm doing it today with hickory and plastic axes. And I wanted to talk about the axe that you're using, or that I'm using. I've got some axes that I use from time to time that are not specifically made as single purpose splitting axes. You know, like I've got the big Mueller, I've got the racing Chuhatahi work axe, I've got some other ones. When I use those axes and they get stuck, it just walks all over these guys. You're using the wrong axe. That's not the proper axe. They go bananas. I think it's hilarious because I know the difference, and I just do it anyway. You don't have to drive a race car to go to work. You know, sometimes you can drive an old beat-up pickup truck. It'll get you there. Everything in life doesn't have to be the most efficient, specialized method. I'm also using these. I got these gloves for Christmas. They're DeWalt. You know, you get them at the big box store. They're really light duty, I think, but the wood's wet today, and wet wood will really eat your hands up, especially once your hands get saturated, and that's why I'm using plastic handle axes today. But I wanted to just try these and just see what kind of punishment they could take, because this is going to be rough wood, heavy wood, and see just how long they last. There's not a good pair of gloves. The most durable pairs of gloves are like cowhide. That's if you're going to do barbed wire fence and stuff like that, and those are the best for that, but those will wear out just like those cloth neighborhood leaf raker gloves that you can buy, you know, 3 pair for $3 or whatever. So trying these out, got them in my stocking. I don't know if they'll last through this video, but I thought I would give them a shot. Back to the axe. You know, I just constantly, I guess, exploring. You know, there may be a little mania involved here, but every single thing I do is not to be the most efficient or the most specialized. You know, I kind of have to do a lot of that kind of stuff in my job, and so when I'm out here doing what I want to do, I do it the way I want to do it. And if that means that I got to bend over more than some other guy who's figured out the way he wants to do it, or swing harder, or get an axe unstuck from a piece of wood, I'm just okay with that, because I don't do this to maximize time on effort. I do this because I like heating with wood. I live in a place that has an abundance of wood, abundance of trees that are constantly being cut down or fall over in storms or what have you. It's literally, well, it's not free because I do have to put gas in my chainsaws and gas in my truck to haul it. But outside of those things, which luckily those tools are pretty efficient in cost, it's free. Free-ish. it's free adjacent. And I do it because of that. But I live in an area where electricity's cheap. Our electricity down here, no, I live in the Mid-South. It's cheap. Our heat's electric. And it definitely costs more electricity to heat than it does cool. So if you're debating kind of that angle, it definitely uses more kilowatts to heat a house than it does to cool it. Now obviously the type of house depends. I got a little bitty house. Didn't take much to heat it with wood. And I've just got a little time and, as they call, sweat equity. Well, you know what I don't do? I don't spend my gas driving to the gym. I don't pay a gym membership. I just do this. And it might not be as gainy or rippy as lifting weights, but also I'm not trying to be pumped up. I'm just a regular goon who is multitasking. So I'm doing a couple things. I'm getting exercise, heart exercise, strength exercise, mobility exercise, getting all that doing this one activity. So I'm walking, I'm lifting, I'm squatting, bending. I'm also heating my house. I'm heating other people's houses. A lady called me and said, on New Year's Day, she said, I need some firewood. Can you deliver some? I said, well, yeah, sure. She thanked me so much. She had a couple of baby showers going this next quarter, and she wanted to have her fireplaces going so the attendees could be cozy on days like today, which are cold and wet. That to me is a service that I provide. If I get a little money out of the deal, well, that offsets that chainsaw and truck gas. So maybe it's not free, but I'm going to call it a low to zero cost effort. And every once in a while, I get to buy a cool new axe that is not as efficient as splitting wood as some of these. One swing. Yeah, but they're fun to use and they look good on the wall. I've got a pretty extensive collection of axes. I've sold some over the years. Some that I didn't use, some that I put in these videos. But it's always like this quest, this exploration. Not everybody gets that. It's not just what's the most efficient, what's the best. What things are made for, specialized for. Sometimes it's the feel, or the weight of the tool, or the size of the bit, or just the mood I'm in. And I'm really okay with all that. This is muddy, it's wet. All this wood is dirty. You can see there's mud and dirt all over this stuff. Well, I'm not going to use my $150 to $500. I only got one of those axe, but you know, whatever the expensive axe that I want to stay sharp. I'm not going to use it on this. Sometimes I don't like using it on it when it's dry, or if I know I'm really going to be hammering down on stuff. But I'm okay with that. It's choice. Don't like it? Don't watch. Or watch and say, I'm smarter than that guy. However you want to play yourself, buddy. I'm having a little fun. I really don't care. But it's just one of those things that the internet's really good at telling people how wrong they are without knowing their intentions or qualifications or anything like that. That's split, but I'm gonna pick up this big one too. I'm trying to clean up this little hickory here because I've got, these are just believe it or not, these are just the top rounds. I've got the logs on a trailer and they're twice as big, but I've got to split them before I get them off the trailer. So yeah, I'm gonna split them on the trailer. Wring your hands about that, pal. Yeah, so anyway, I wanted to get this stack as cleaned up as possible and begin to organize it. I got all the red oak that I split a few weeks ago in my last video. That's all stacked. This hickory needs to get stacked pretty soon too, because I'm tired of this pile being here and because it's just isn't ready to stack. So that's what's gonna happen after I split it. And then I'm gonna split all that stuff on the trailer. And then I got a pile of locusts. It's back there, it's been back there since like July, in the round. It's all funky and dried on the ends, cracked. It's gonna be a booger to split. Nah, it won't, it'll be fine. Some of the pieces might be, but I might leave one of my really nice axes out to get rusty and then split that locust with it to clean the rust off. Probably not gonna do that. I don't have a I mean, there are guys out there who have a tractor, hydraulic splitter, conveyor belts, containers, plastic containers, aluminum containers, build containers. They got torches that they light their fires with. They sit there and light the fire with a torch. I mean, I guess to each his own, but unless I'm sawing, which I don't do here very often, or I'm jawing to you, the chippity chop of the wood is about all the noise I make. No ear probe required. And it feels good. It's the heart pumping. It's the snot rockets juicing, you know what I mean? It's kind of weather. It's real snotty. Gotta get the snot out. The old snot rocket. So that's what I'm doing. Breathing hard, good clean, cool air, splitting wood, YouTubing. If you can handle it now, I mean, some guys just don't like it. Alright, one thing that's bad about these gloves is this side is that mesh, bad, relatively speaking. I mean, obviously they're light duty, but you take a whack on this side, it hurts. Something hit that thumb a minute ago, it's still throbbing. But I don't guess it's the glove's fault. It's bad luck. I don't want that knot in there. That won't fit in any wood stove that I got. There we go. Complete. I'm really swinging hard today. I usually don't swing this hard because I don't like to blow them apart like that, but it feels kind of good to wallop it. Wallop. I don't have any sponsors, so if I do swing an axe or use gear, it's just my opinion. I'm pretty low on the YouTube totem pole, so I guess some of these makers get free advertisement, but I don't care. All right, next round. Ding, 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 ding. That being said, I'm happy to review stuff. I'll be brutally honest. 1, 2, 3 knots, all at the bottom. Here's one thing about hardwoods. Oh man, pop that thumb. One thing about hardwoods that is different than softwoods, at least Western softwoods in North America, is limbs grow. Let's see if I can find a good one here. Limbs grow at an angle typically. So this one was growing up like that. So it's easier typically to split from the roots to the top. Roots to the top. The reason why is the force of your blow can go into, see how these fibers run along the knot and around it. Well, all of your strength and power can go all the way through all that and separate. This way, however, there's some out here, and that's when you hit it, it opens a little bit out here, but over here it doesn't. A lot of them go and end or go around or tear out. That blocks a lot of that stuff. Wait, sorry. I had it wrong. No, I had it right. Yeah, it goes like this. Maybe. I don't know, maybe this is growing like that. Yeah, it looks the same either way, doesn't it? Maybe it's growing that way. No, it's got to be going this way. Because here's the middle of the tree, so it's growing up like that. So, these grains come down and hit this, and they have to go around it like that. I don't know if you can see that. I'm not gonna look, but they're gonna go around the limb like that. Okay, and when they come from underneath, they go around it in a similar way, but the angle is different. It's more conducive to splitting. So you always want to split from the bottom of the tree, the roots to the limbs. However, sometimes when you get wood from some jaybird who sawed it funny, like this guy who sawed this one, which was me, there's knots near the bottom, and if you turn it around, if you look here, it's all clear grain. We turn it around. Come on, big fella. Okay. Not only do we have this knot, which the knot itself is not the issue, it's this wood around the knot, because the grain does not flow straight there. It's all wadded up, or it's crunched up around it. Here's the knot over here. This knot that comes here. So there's a knot here. If you're going to split it this way from the roots to the canopy, you got to really watch out for the knots, and you're only going to get so much mileage out of that because those knots are roadblocks in there. Now you can do it. This would be a good line where this crack is because there's no knots here or over here. There's one knot here, one knot here, one knot here, and a little knot there. But I'm going to flip it over because I want those knots and all that knot grain on the bottom. Now, it might not split very easily this way. It might not split easily either way. That's part of the fun. Let's try it. Still going to go where the straight grain is. And with one whack, it split over here too, which means that's the weak corridor. That's where I want to go, regardless of what the cracks are or anything else. That's going to be our Alamo. See, that's split, it's separated. Now I can keep whacking on that and get these two big chunks and knock them off, but I'm just going to pick a different spot and loosen it up there. And as per usual, I would walk around and split it, but since I've got you here, also look, the natural split was there, right on top of this knot. If you went from that way, I guarantee it wouldn't happen. I guarantee. Not at the bottom on this one. Right at it. Let's go with the lefty on this one. All right, pretty good. Gonna go with the little one here. Knock some of these out. Voila. That knot right there is holding all that on. That'll burn. Ready? Also, sometimes what you can do, big proponent of this, is open it up with the knots down and then flip it over. Now, I'm going to show you a couple examples of this to why this doesn't work, because you still got to account for the knot. But it's a viable method depending on the wood. So this is a piece of firewood. It's ready to go, seasoned for a year, put in the wood stove. But because I'm here to educate, there's a knot that goes from here to there. It's approximately 1 3/4 inches wide, approximately 2 inches wide. I'm going to hit it right here. Now, there's not a lot of material that way, and this may split just beautifully, or it may not. I guarantee you, these threads right here, this grain is going to tear no matter what. But I'm going to try for that knot. Ooh. Okay, it split along that knot, broke into the knot, but the knot kept the force from driving through. That's all I'm saying. Let's go this way and see if it'll split. Don't know, it's pretty thin wood up here. Maybe a perfect example of what I'm talking about here. Look. split all the way down to there. Now it's not split in two, but it tore to there. Didn't quite come through on this side, did a little bit there. I'm just gonna split it because I've started it. Doesn't need to be, but see, all from here to here is the same piece of wood. As soon as you get down around that knot, you go, whoa, you get all that wonky. And there's the knot. That's the way to do it. Okie dokie. Well, now this is the one in the middle that's split down to the knot. Just stops it from going all the way. Oh, this is a good example of the grain I was talking about. Tree grows this way, so bottom of the tree, top of the tree. These flow around it, these flow into it. It's because of the way it grows. If it grows straight out like a evergreen tree, doesn't really matter, knots on the bottom. That's why that's easier wood to split. Typically, when you got a 4-inch knot, it ain't gonna it'd be easy either way. That's why you flip it. But this, it goes into it, not around it, because that angle right there is just easier. One more. Let's go to the very bottom of the tree where it was felled. The butt. This can be the hardest part of the tree to split. It can also be the easiest, especially if it's already cracked. It was already cracked. I saw that, that's why I saw all this stuff. Watch out for these guys, you can slip and don't want that. Oops. 4 pieces? Almost. So back to really what I wanted to talk about was using the right axe. I think every woodlot, everyone who eats with wood that doesn't use a machine to do it, I'm going to call alphas, alpha woodcutters, need to have one plastic axe. Maybe 2, not me. But you can get by with a plastic axe and a sledgehammer and wedges instead of this guy. However, if you want to work out, it's harder to swing this than it is that little one. That makes more fun. Okay, hope you enjoyed that one. See you next time.